Hey there, I'm MamaLisa, and I've been blessed to meet amazing people along my life's journey. People with diverse careers, interests, and a passion for improving the world through acts of service and kindness. I'm an educator, a mother, wife, and friend to all. Early exposure to careers and training can change the world and end poverty as we know it. So what are you waiting for? Let's sit down, chat, and learn about careers together as we work to change the world. I'm MamaLisa. I know cool people, and I'm bringing them to you. And welcome to Career Talks with MamaLisa. Enjoy.
Alrighty, so I'd like to welcome all of the participants as well as all of the guests in as we begin this segment of MamaLisa Career Talks. And today's Career Talk will center around, today we have several entrepreneurs joining us. They come from a wide variety of backgrounds, and one thing that they all have in common is that they are excited, they're unashamed of the journeys that they've taken, and they're willing and ready to share those with you all today. So we are going to go in this order. We're going to begin today with Miss Alexis Wright over in Savannah, Georgia. And after we hear from Alexis, we're going to journey right on down to Statesboro, Georgia, where we will hear from Uniqua Robinson. So are you ready, Alexis?
Yes, I am. Can y'all hear me?
Yeah.
My connection going in and out. Y'all hear me? Okay, so pretty much I'm Alexis Wright. I'm a senior at Georgia Southern University. My major is criminal justice and criminology with a concentration in cyber security. My business is the Boss Shop Branding and Graphics. I'm a freelance graphic designer. I have two corporate clients, Reinhardt and Georgia Southern University. Pretty much what made me start my business, it was hard to find work that I could do while studying, because some employers they aren't as aware of your time when you're in college. So instead of clocking in, I just chose to work for myself. This is year 2 of my business. I've been featured in Voyage Atlanta magazine. I also have another magazine coming out. Can't mention it yet. And then I'm working on some other things. I have a Facebook group with over 900 members called Sisters and Co. And pretty much in there, I just teach young entrepreneurs ages 25 and under how to better brand their business. I don't know if I missed anything. I'm pretty sure the rest of it will come out, but that's just like a short, that's just like a short introduction of me. Welcome, everyone.
All right, Alexis, now we didn't get much of your career journey. Now, what were you doing to lead you up to the Boss Shop?
I tried to start my own boutique, and it was just hard to find branding that I could afford, stuff that was quality, that was worth the quality of what I was paying for it. And then pretty much it was just stuff when I was in school, sophomore in college. I didn't have that much money. I was working at Zaxby's at the time. So I just wanted to be able to give people quality graphics at an affordable price. And that's my motto. So.
All right, thank you very much, Alexis. Now we're going to head right on over to Statesboro. Uniqua Robinson. Uniqua.
Can y'all hear me okay?
Yes.
Okay. I work as a real estate agent. I got my license back in 2016. The period to me getting my license was very hard. I want to say that I didn't pass the test until the 4th time I took the exam. Prior to that, I didn't have anyone in my life who did real estate, so I didn't really have anyone who could kind of show me the ropes or anything. So once I got out of real estate school, that was the next challenge, trying to find what the right company was and what would be a good fit for me. Finally, I got with a builder in new home sales, and that's pretty much what I've been doing for almost a year now, and that has been very helpful for me.
Uniqua, what kind of jobs did you have before you became a real estate agent?
Before I became a real estate agent, I had my cosmetology license. I cut hair for Great Clips for about 2 or 3 years. And before that, I worked in fast food. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Alrighty. And to everyone on the call, if you do have questions for any of our panelists, I would like for you to type those into the chat. We will stop after each panelist has the opportunity to introduce themselves for you to ask those questions. You don't like for people to hear you and see you, please feel welcome to type those in. Now we're going to head back over to the city of Savannah, and we're going to learn from a man who dibble and dabbles in the world of coffee, Mr. Russell Kennedy.
Can everybody hear me?
Yes.
All right. Thank you for this opportunity, Lisa. Again, my name is Russell Kennedy, and I'm the owner of Indulge Coffee. Just a little history about Indulge Coffee. We started the company in 2013, which was started actually in Bagram Air Base, Afghanistan, during my last deployment of my military career. And the company just started selling roasted beans and at local farmers markets and also online. And we will also serve as a mobile operation, working out of a 10 by 10 tent at local festivals all up and down the Georgia coast. And then we opened a physical location on April 1st, 2015 in the Victorian district here in Savannah. And we operated it until the physical location until November of last year. The company grew quickly, and we were sought out by companies such as SCAD, J.C. Lewis Primary Health Care, the Savannah Waterfront Association, and also the Up the Cup New Year's Eve committee to work with them. But due to some hardships at the physical location, we closed that location down. And we're going through a re-engineering phase of the business where we are relaunching our e-commerce business later on in June. And that's where customers can buy roasted beans again, cups, mugs, t-shirts, and also gift baskets. And then we'll move forward with relaunching a physical location.
Russell, along the way, prior to you opening up Indulge Coffee, what career helped to prepare you for entrepreneurship?
Let's see. I was in the military before opening the business, and truthfully, I don't think that there was a career field that was going to groom me to jump into this entrepreneur journey, because it's a lot once you're in the journey, and the lessons you learn during your journey are the ones that you want to keep to impart on the next entrepreneur that might be thinking about going on their own journey, or is about to jump head first, and you want to let them know, hey, maybe you need to think about some things a different way, just so that you don't hit some pitfalls that might come your way.
Thank you very much. And now we are going to hang around Savannah, and we are going to hear from Myquan Green of In Green Productions.
Hello, my name is Myquan Green. I am the CEO of In Green Productions. I started out in 7th grade I became a part of a program called FCCLA, that stands for Family Career Community Leaders of America, which exposed me to several local nonprofit organizations. And I had the support of a lot of people that wanted to see another young Black male succeed, especially right in one of the Savannah schools. The greatest part about that is that I had support from people right in my household. I had to lean on the strong wisdom of my grandmother. My grandmother supported me when I said I wanted to start a business. Didn't know exactly what that was, but I knew I wanted to start a business. And I got a hold of a camera. I don't know if you guys are familiar with this, but in grandma's house, you have curtains. You have those three curtains. You have that one in the center that's, might be white, and you have those two that's the same colors on the other side. I spread that curtain apart, and that was my first backdrop. I took pictures, I printed it on a regular home printer, and I sold pictures right from grandmother's living room. Little did I know that moment was the start of something big. I started selling pictures out of the household, and that selling pictures from the household turned to working with nonprofit organizations all across the city of Savannah, Georgia, to do their photography for their events. Moving on from that time, several people from those events got to realize who Myquan Green was. And they asked me to come and take pictures at their events, come and do different things for them, come speak to young people my age. And from there, back to FCCLA. To fast forward just a little bit, I became the state president of that organization. When my seventh grade self would have never believed that I would become state president. But being a part of that, it allowed me to inspire and motivate several young people to do great things. As time went on, I started out in a 300 square foot office where I was doing photography for several schools. It was on a smaller scale. However, little did I know that small office was going to turn to a 600 square foot office on Eisenhower Drive, where we got our first big contract. IKEA Distribution Center in Savannah called us to do a big photography gig for them. And from there, the business grew tremendously. And now we, this year, recently moved into a 2,200 square foot office right off of Montgomery Crossroads, where we are now offering marketing services, photography services, graphic design, printing, mass production printing, and several other services as vendorships for other companies that provide some of the same services that we do. But we're able to help streamline a lot of their products that they're trying to offer and help them grow as a company as well. There's a lot that I can say, but I'm pretty sure as we move on through this Zoom call, I'll be able to share a lot more of that with you.
Thank you very much, Myquan. That was very good. And now we're going to still hang around the city of Savannah, and we are going to hear from Mrs. Scott Pilcher. Where's Tanya? Did I mess up?
No, I'm here.
Oh.
Good afternoon. I'm Tanya Scott Pilcher, and I'm with Get Skills. I've been an entrepreneur for, probably 20 years or more, doing training. Get Skills has been around since 2001, and we either are doing training in GED preparation, job skills preparation, GED training. And then as time went on, we kind of transitioned our company because we also became insurance agents. And so at this particular time in our life, we are looking for people that want to transition their career or looking to move their career into something else, especially during this pandemic of being laid off or no jobs, and looking for a different type of career move and going into insurance. Now, we do life insurance, health insurance, whether that's affordable health care or whether it's Medicare, along with auto and homeowners insurance. And so we'd love to begin to partner with those that are real estate agents, because we have a great plan for any of those that are buying new homes. So let me put that plug in. And then what Get Skills is doing at this time is that we are pre-licensing. We're certified by the state of Georgia and just got certified by South Carolina. And we're working on California and Texas at this time to get certified to do licensing courses for those that want to become insurance agents, along with those doing needing to get their continuing education credits. So our office is in Savannah at 10094A Eisenhower Drive. And we are going to do a free class for those under the age of 35 and looking to change or get into something different. And all they have to do is pay for their book. So that's what we're ought to be offering in the upcoming future on June 15th.
So Tanya, while I have you here, prior to venturing off on your own, because I know that you've been a professional for more than 25 years, what else did you do?
Woo, what else? So how I met you, Lisa? I was managing the Miss Black Georgia USA pageant at that time, but I've kind of always been in training. Mm-hmm. But I have taught at Savannah Tech. I also have a nonprofit agency that hopefully some of you have heard of called Ready, Set, Go Back to School. I am the founder and officer and board member of the Ready, Set, Go Back to School. And we have an insurance agency called A to Z Depot, something like that. So we do a little bit of everything, but right now my whole focus is centered around insurance.
All right, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Now we are going to head on up the state to Atlanta, Georgia, and let's hear from Mrs. Gunder.
Could you see me? Could you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. Hello, my name is Tana Gunder. I'm the owner of K Gunder Branding and Building. And pretty much we do branding for small businesses. We have done some for larger businesses, but our target is smaller businesses because a lot of business, when they're starting their businesses, they pretty much don't know what to do from the starting point all the way to the ending point. We also do photography. Also have a real estate company. I'm a real estate investor. My kids, I'm the creative director of their company, which is Twinpreneur Enterprise. And we pretty much, with the Twinpreneur Enterprise, is more so of kind of like we're trying to break into like a modeling agency for twins, for kids that, multiples or whatnot. And also with their upcoming toothpaste line. So I just pretty much, I'm a little nervous right now because I never did this. So, but yeah, pretty much, that's pretty much it for the most part.
All righty, Miss Tanya. Now, you, we know what you're doing now with your business, but what type of employment have you had previous to going into entrepreneurship?
Well, I worked in retail, and I always knew that I wanted to have my own business, but I just didn't know what I wanted to do. I had a boutique before, was in North Dakota. We actually made history because I was the youngest and the first Black person to open up a store, and female. So we had made history when we opened it, but because of everything that went on with the boutique, that was my first business. I didn't, I knew what to do, but I really didn't know what to do, honestly. So it's like I just wanted to get it right. And I was like, you know what? I did all the branding for that business. Why not take what I put into that business and try to help other people within their business? And so on. I started with a girl out of Minneapolis. I remember when she was promoting that she needed a logo. So I was like, you know what? Let me try this out. So I did her logo from there. she was like, I love it. So she started promoting me. Then it went from one person. So then she came back. She was like, do you know how to set up businesses? I was like, yes, I do. I'll help you set it up. So we ended up setting her business. When she first started her business, it was very slow. But once I got into it, showing her the ropes, how you do your sales, pretty much everything when it comes to business, she started excelling in her business. Well, she went from making $200 a day to maybe like $500 to $600 a day. So I pretty much do it all or whatnot. That's about it.
Thank you for sharing that. I know when we spoke previously, you told me the way you were able to increase the sales in your business. If you can kind of share those numbers with the people on the call, as well as the number of brands that you have been able to build since moving into this area of business.
Okay, so I started off as the $10 girl. I say within 5 to 6 months, I was able to expand my numbers to like 99%. Like it went up by 99%. I helped over 50 businesses, and I still am. I do offer business coaching or whatnot, because pretty much everybody just need a push or whatnot. What I needed. My husband, he was more so like that, the person that kind of pushed me. So I started pushing, even with Alexis. Me and her, I ended up meeting Alexis in a group on Facebook, and I always seen so much into Alexis, and I just knew, she always needed an extra push. So I pretty much started coaching her, and her sales is going tremendous. Like, man, Alexis is such a bright young lady. I just see her doing big things. Like, I don't know. It's just, I don't know. I'm kind of nervous because it's new. I never did nothing like this before. So I'm just a little nervous right now. So I'm sweating.
You are doing an excellent job. What we want you to do is just be comfortable and just think of this as, I'm everybody's mama. I'm MamaLisa, and you're just sitting on the sofa with me and we're having a conversation. All righty. So now, does anybody have questions from our viewers? If you would like to type them, feel free to type them. If you would like to ask them, let's go ahead and get the questions out there. If not, we'll move into the questions that I already have, but I'm going to give you guys a couple of more seconds before we go in. All righty. So now we are going to, we're going to start over here with Mr. Kennedy. Mr. Kennedy, now, you know that you have the discipline that comes from the military. You're a risk taker, obviously, because you are an entrepreneur. But can you tell us about some of the fails that you've had and how those fails have helped you along the way?
Sure. And I'm glad that you were asking this question, because that's something that a lot of people don't really touch upon, is the fail part of this journey. Nobody wants to highlight that, but that's part of the journey. Recently, like I told you in my opening statements that I had I had some hardships last year, which caused me to close down my physical location, and so I had to really go back and think about why that happened, and use it as a learning tool to move the business forward, and first of all, taking accountability of what happened, and who it fell on, and it all fell on me, and taking that first step in moving forward, and taking those notes about what led to that, and again, it's just a lesson. It wasn't a time where it was time for me to just lay down and end it all. And because entrepreneurship is not that. This probably won't be the last lesson that I'll learn, but it's a great lesson, and it's a great topic to talk about, because those hardships will come in your entrepreneur journey.
Now, would any of our other panelists like to take that on and answer that.
Repeat the question.
Some of your what you consider a setback, or you could consider it a fail along the way. How did you overcome that?
Well, I'll answer it. Working in graphic design, the goal is to make sure that the customer is always happy. And you want to be sure that you understand the customer enough to relay their vision, because we do digital artwork. And me, myself, I can actually draw as well. So my goal was to always make sure my clients was happy. And I had an incident recently where, the client wanted me to freestyle. And you could tell that she was one of those clients where, she really wanted it. She really wanted it done by me, and I couldn't deliver it to her. And that me, how I am, I'm very emotional. I'm an emotional person. I like to please everyone. So I had like a couple of days ago where I was just like, okay, I'm done with graphic design. I don't want to do this anymore. Like I really had to take some time. And just going back to what Mr. Kennedy said, entrepreneurship is really not you're gonna have those setbacks. And people don't like to talk about those little setbacks. They like to talk about, okay, well, she's a 5-star graphic designer. She pleases everybody, when that's not really the case. You will have some clients that you disappoint, but the goal is not to have many. And I have no problem talking about, the bad, not the bad, but the bad reviews that I do get sometimes. But the goal is to not have as many. Like, you learn from it. Like, what I learned from that situation right there is, don't freestyle. Make sure you have a clear idea of what the client wants, because just because it may look good to you, it may not look good to them. And that's what I learned from that. So
thank you very much, Alexis. Did anybody else want to touch that before we move on to the next question?
Yeah, could you? Oh no.
Okay. No, just to piggyback off of that, when I got into real estate, I didn't realize like how much went into it. So I would say like maybe my first 2 years, I struggled a lot because I didn't have, I guess like the resources, and trying to find those resources, and, paying for your own marketing, building your own clientele, finding people who were looking to buy and sell their homes, learning the ins and outs of it. And that's something that I struggled with, coming into it. So I would consider that, a failed part of it. Yeah, for sure.
Thank you. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, to piggyback off what you said, I was about to say something about that. I think it was like the failure part for me would be time, because I am a wife, I am a mom too. So trying to make time, and a lot of people don't understand that. Like, we have our turnaround times placed out there for everyone, but a lot of people will pretty much pressure you into doing this at this time, or I need this by this, but you have your time. So I don't came across that where I didn't complete something in a good enough time, but I allowed the person to know that, hey, I won't be able to get this done. I can, send your money back. Instead of them understanding where I was coming from, which I told them I was, pretty much booked, they left a bad review on me. So it's like, what should I do when it comes to this? Should I just, let this get me down, or keep going? And I think that was one of the most hardest decisions, I would say in my little path that I've been doing so far.
Thank you. Now we have a question from the floor. This is from Sierra Duvall for everyone. When you make mistakes, what has helped you the most in correcting those mistakes?
For myself, just realizing it, not sitting in it too long, and just seeing how I could do better.
Yeah, I agree. Not dwelling on the mistake, but acknowledging that the mistake was made, and what you can do moving forward to not revisit that same mistake. You really have to take that and put it in your back pocket for something, for a similar situation to come up. You could always pull it out and say, okay, well, this was the outcome last time, and this is what needs to happen this time, or what course of action I could take this time for a better outcome that's better for the customer or the situation.
And that's like, as mentioned before, just pretty much taking accountability for the mistake that happened. Like, if you don't want to have that denied complex. So what you want to do is go ahead and admit you're wrong and fix your wrong. Like with the situation that I just mentioned, like I realized what I did wrong in that incident, and I made sure that I didn't do it again, and I don't plan to. So just really, taking accountability for what you did and making sure that you move on from it.
I would say like one thing that I realize is that, as a business owner, when we make mistakes, our punishment most times is we financially lose. And a lot of times by that happening, that causes us to kind of be forced to understand that you made a mistake. And, a lot of times just in regular life, when you make a mistake, sometimes it's difficult to understand that the mistake is made. But in business, like I said, we have a financial loss most of the time. So by that financial loss, what happens there is it's like, all right, you see that you're losing money, so what are you going to do to fix it? And by the time you realize it, you just have to hope that you've made the right choices to be able to make those drastic changes to succeed.
Did anyone else want to add to that? All right, we have another question in the chat room, and this one is coming from Isaiah. His question is, have any of you ever received loans for your business? And if you haven't, what is your take on getting loans?
Well, I'm gonna start answering that question. So here's the difficult about the loans. Every time you reach a financial hardship, the first thing you think is, oh, I need to get a loan. And I guess I learned that the hard way because as a 19-year-old business owner, moving into a 2,200 square foot office, it's like, okay, we get into the office, but ding, 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 now we got to get furniture. So, where does the money come in for that? So here's what you learn quickly. You learn quickly because you apply for all these loans, and I promise you that more than likely you won't get accepted for it. And you have to realize that, I can say for my story, everything that I had up until this point, or that I have, I paid cash for it. And it's no win-win situation because you pay cash for it, and then it's like, okay, now people ask me, did you get a loan to get this stuff? Do you have any credit cards? No, I don't. If I could go back, would I have done it differently? I would have gotten a credit card a little bit earlier because, as long as you are financially, planning well, the credit card thing can work out for you. However, what's not wise is to make a business move, get a $20,000 loan and not have a plan to pay that back. And the biggest part is as a business owner, you have to make, of course, difficult choices and decisions, but you also have to make wise decisions because in the end, you have to suffer the consequences as well as, reap the benefits of every decision that you make.
Now, initially, I knew that I needed loans when I was doing my business plan because for equipment.
Today, we have several entrepreneurs joining us,
but
they come from.
I had to scale back because I had so much. Initially, I knew that I needed loans when I was doing my business plan. You have to sit here and think about the things that you need. I start all of my equipment. I purchased myself. A lot of the things that was needed to operate I did them by myself because there were times that I applied for loans and you were fully qualified for them, but you never received them. And being a veteran, I thought that I had a sure foot in with some of these loans. Not just because I was a veteran, but because the credit score was great. The amount of skin I had in the game was there. But for some reason, those loans never fell through. And so I had to use what I had, which was my own money that I have saved to start the business. But loans can be beneficial because each business has to operate, and having a business line of credit or working capital to tap into to help you during those tough times, maybe when business is slow or things are just not happening, that you still stay afloat during those times until things get back up in a place where it's beneficial for your business.
Oh, well, so I would say I didn't do any loans, but I did use credit cards on some things. I leveraged. I started what I did because I knew I always wanted to run a business. Once I first, got into doing it. So I started buying everything piece by piece by piece, slowly but surely. If I got like little money here and there, I started buying it there. Then my husband, so he's like one of a credit king pretty much. So he got me, taught me into leveraging my credit score, leverage my credit cards or whatnot. So I got into leveraging my credit. Do I think it's a bad thing to do loans? No. If I knew what I knew now, I would have did loans on everything because a lot of this stuff, it cost equipment cost a lot of money, and it was some stuff that tore already, and then there's some stuff that I'm still able to use. But now, when I scaled my business and stuff, I'm able to, with my credit card, I'm able to pay everything off and then pay everything back. So I pretty much think, just having a business plan, there's nothing wrong with getting a loan, especially just make sure you have good credit because sometimes the creditors will check your personal credit score before they even allow you to start building personal credit, business credit. So loans is definitely a goal, as long as you know how to leverage. That's what I definitely go for it. Yes, most definitely go for it.
Anyone else want to add to that? All right, we have another question from the floor. This question is coming from Sierra, and she wants to know, how do you balance between work and your personal life, and do you consider yourself a workaholic?
Woo! That is probably one question I'll go ahead and take first. And yes, there is some balance between work and your personal life, but very little. I am also a homeschool teacher, along with a business owner. So we work from home. We also work in the office. We do school together. And you find yourself as an entrepreneur working all day and all evening. But I still find time to vacation. I still find time to be a mom, where I still cook and clean and with everything that those duties require. And as I've gotten older, what I do a little differently is that I make sure that I put a certain number of hours away for personal time for myself and for my family. But before then, you would find me, and some people still to this day will find that I'm going to shoot them an email at 11, 12, even 1 o'clock in the morning, because I'm going to spend maybe that work time later in the evening when everything is settled down some, so that I can get a chance to do the work at that hour, because earlier in the day I may have spent time gardening that morning because that's what I like to do. I may have spent some time getting things ready for homeschool. So I definitely now, today, have a balance. But before, it was just, as an entrepreneur, we don't have it easy. We work day in, day out because we're satisfying our business and also our families. And this is our lifeblood. In order for us to eat tomorrow, we have to work. So as you get a little older and a little more wiser, and I hope all of you are beginning to do it earlier than I did, is make time. Because when I vacation, I have a good time. And so, but I had to find it, and we take I'm going to say we take the kids with us most times, not all the time. But yeah, it's one of those things. And I no longer call myself a workaholic. I do schedule that time.
That was very good. Thank you. Did anybody else want to add to that?
I'll add to it. With me only being 22 years old, I am in college, so most of my time is 50-50 school, and the other 50% is the ball shop because I don't have another job. This is my main source of income, my only source of income. I don't stay with my parents, I stay by myself. So I feel like if I'm not on this computer, I'm broke. And I know that's a bad way to think. I do want to wean off it a little bit because I'm not really enjoying myself. Like, I see some of my friendships going away, stuff like that, and I don't want to be alone in the world. So I know that I do need to do a better job managing my time and making time for social activities. When school was in, I was a senator with SGA, so a lot of my time went to that too because I had to focus on the students and I had to focus on my home life and work and things like that. So I do want to get better. I'll call myself a workaholic, but it's been with great reward. And now that my business is running as smoothly as it is, I do need to take the time for myself. So I'm very guilty of that.
I guess I can say that um, I remember back last year in 12th grade, I was the state president of an organization, a business owner, and a full-time student. And that was a lot to juggle. However, it definitely taught me a big lesson. To be honest with you, I was able to be a part of, I don't know if this is probably first, but I was a part of work-based learning. And in work-based learning, I was working for my own company. And that allowed me time to be able to, work within the company. However, now I've always been the kind of person where I like to work by myself. But I learned very, very, very quickly that I can't do all this by myself because there's a lot of things that have to be done. So I have 5 employees now, and being able to delegate a lot of that work to different people has allowed me to, relax sometimes. I'm not going to sit here and say that, I can take 5 days off and just feel okay in my spirit. Everything is okay with that. But I can say that I'm definitely going to that point to whereas I'm able to take some days off. I'm really excited because next week I'm taking 4 days off. At least that's the plan. However, I would say as far as, being able to go out and have fun, I definitely work hard for that balance. I like to enjoy nice restaurants. I like going on vacation. And, most recently, I just schedule certain times throughout the year that I know I'm going to be going. And everything else just has to wait. And, like I said, it is hard. Alexis, you said something right. You said, I try not to consider myself a workaholic, but, that probably what it is. I'm still at work right now, and I've been here since 8 o'clock this morning. However, practicing that balance is something that I'm definitely working towards. So if you ask me what was my weakness, I would say, not giving myself as much time as I should.
I would say in the beginning I didn't have much balance. It was very hard trying to be a business owner, a mom, a wife, and then so on. I ended up going in a partnership with someone, and then I have an assistant as well. They have gotten better. Recently, I had to take like a month, so I had my in-laws to help out with my kids. I allowed them to go with them for a month so I can kind of get a better schedule because I was noticing that most of my time was in my business and it was more so, it was coming, it was getting to the point to where it was just getting too noticeable. My kids wasn't really, coming to me like they used to when they see me. I run to their dad more so than my husband. I kind of noticed that, hey, you spending too much time in that business. So that's what I did. I pretty much took a month off. With the kids, so I can get a schedule. And so far, I was able to take a mini vacation. I was able to complete all my orders, and I was able to get into meditating and praying a lot more. So you definitely need to have some type of balance in your business because it was chaotic. I was having a lot of headaches. I was stressed out. I even looked very old, and I'm so young. I'm only 24. So balance, definitely have balance in your business. If you don't, it would wear and tear on your body. You would start seeing it in your face. You'll start seeing it in your attitude. You'll just see it in your everyday life. So definitely make sure you have balance.
All right, guys, we have another question from the floor. Do you find it hard to pay yourself, or do you typically invest your money back into your business and operating expenses?
Yes. At first, when I first started my business, I was a sophomore in college, as mentioned. So when I was seeing all that money come in, I was just like, "Oh my gosh, it's money!" So I was happy to have it. At that time, I was staying on campus, so I didn't have as many expenses as I have now. I had a car that was paid off at the time, so I didn't have to worry about a car note. Didn't have to worry about all the utility bills and stuff that I have to pay now. So it was easy for me to run through money. Like I would run through like $1,000 a month. At the time, that was a lot, but I'm seeing it now that it's really not. It's like $1 in my pocket. So that was really hard. Now, I have a system that works. I pay myself twice a month. And then I take out money for inventory because I also do, in addition to graphic design, I do t-shirts and customized items. I'm also a wholesaler now. So I wholesale things like t-shirts, cups. I'm starting to wholesale lashes, and then I also have my Facebook group that has the 900 members. We're trying to turn that into a business, me and KT right now. So I have to make sure that the money goes where it's supposed to. And then also too, I just had something happen with my website. The IRS is looking at my business now, which is a good thing. It's a good thing, it's not bad. But they're monitoring the money, so I have to make sure that it goes where it's supposed to go. So yeah, I pay myself twice a month, and I'm making sure that everything is right and legit, so that I don't get, because the IRS, we don't mess with those letters. So yes, so making sure that everything is right. That's all.
Did anyone else want to add to that one?
Yeah. In the beginning, everything that the business made was reinvested back into the business. I didn't start really taking any type of pay until probably like year two, the end of year two, year three. And at that time, the company had grown so much that I was able to take a paycheck. It was very little to begin with, but it was still a paycheck. And then also because I wanted to also hire help. And so now we had to earmark a lot of the funds, not only for operating costs, but also for payroll, and and as the business moved forward, an increase in paychecks, not only mine but also for employees, was able to happen. But in the very beginning, I wasn't able to take any kind of paycheck, but everything was being reinvested back into the business.
All righty, we have another question from the floor. This question is coming from Jaquan, and this question is for everyone. What keeps you motivated when you feel as if you want to quit?
I would say my kids. My kids keep me motivated, and then if you get to know my backstory. I wouldn't say I had the worst childhood growing up, but it wasn't the best at times too. Like me and my family, we suffered a lot of hardships or whatnot. So I never wanted to, have my kids in such, that environment to where we facing the car getting repossessed, the home. So my kids keep me grounded. They keep me going. And my husband, I would definitely say that they keep me going. They really do. They always push me. Even when they see that I'm tired, like my babies. I don't know if every kid is like this, but my kids can tell when something is wrong. They'll come up to me, start giving me hugs, rubbing my face. One of my babies say, "Love you," but they know. So whenever I'm feeling down, I look at my kids, and they just give me that inspiration to keep going.
Anyone else?
Yes, sure. For me, quitting has never been an option. My family members, they didn't quit at the first thing the first hardship that they came across. And so that was ingrained in me very early on in age. The military taught me not to ever quit. Whatever it is, by any means necessary, that you have to do to keep on moving forward. It's something I always go back to, even in this time. When last year happened, I really thought about just giving it all up and quitting at that time, but something inside me said no, that's not an option, and so you have to motivate yourself to move forward, and motivating yourself can come in the form of you just re-engineering your business. The business is not dead because of this. It's something that you need just to push you move forward.
MamaLisa, what motivates me is helping people. And so as a trainer, I'm able to help. When I first got started, we were working in the jail, working at supporting people that were the inmates. So helping them to get their GED. And when they accomplished that task, the thank yous, the gratitude that they felt, because we were not afraid to be in that area with them and to really work with them to get over that hump and get their GED while they were incarcerated. On the other side, on the insurance field, same thing. And part of the reason that we do the training is because we were also helping our clients. We were helping them to understand the importance of Medicare and health insurance and just walking them through those things that are difficult. A lot of times we all just purchase insurance because we're on a job and we have to, but we don't understand it. We don't know why it's important. We don't know what it can affect until we get into trouble. And so insurance became a ministry. And so we are able to help seniors. And when affordable health care came along, what was so important and what we did is that we trained people, we taught them, we coached them, we showed them how important it was to have something to take care of your health if something happened to you. Affordable health care was great for entrepreneurs because most of us don't have health insurance because we don't have a job. And so it was, again, it's what keeps me motivated about what I'm doing right now is people and just helping them. And so I'm not going to ever quit. I'm not going to ever stop doing it because I thank you I appreciate you, a hug. I learned so much. It will keep me going longer than anything else. Thank you.
Thank you. Did anybody else want to touch on that subject?
I'll touch on it some. Pretty much what motivates me. This question, it like gets me like real emotional, but mainly the thing that motivates me is the fact that I have a strong fear of failing. And that just comes from the simple fact that when I was younger, certain family members, and I'm just gonna be like real transparent right now. My family members, they had a problem with who my father was. So they counted me out for a lot of things, and I was always that child that was, you're gonna be just like your dad. And my dad was a convicted felon. So to me, I just never wanted to, I never wanted to fulfill that manifest. Even though somebody told me that's what I was gonna be, I'm going to show you that, I'm Alexis, I'm a boss. And that's exactly what I did. Even now, some of those family members, they depend on me for some things. And, I'm not a hateful person or anything. So I would never hold that over their head. I've had them apologize to me, but it was just always that strong fear of failing and letting other people down. I'm my mom's youngest daughter, but I'm the first one to graduate college. I already have one degree. And then I just helped my sister start her own business. So as long as I don't let anybody down, and I don't want to let myself down. I have a 1-year-old nephew. So with me being the only one finishing college and stuff, I want him to know it's okay. It's okay to go to school. Yes, you have people who's making money on Instagram and stuff, but let me show you how to do it the right way. So that's just my biggest fear. It was always I didn't want to fail, and I never wanted to be like my dad. So
Thank you, Lexis. Now we have another question from the floor. What was the hardest part of keeping your business exciting and new? This is from Marcus.
I guess I can say, Marcus, that when it comes to keeping the business exciting and new, that was something that I struggled with. And whenever I, see an area of improvement, the first thing I do is do some research. I figure out, what my competitors are doing, and I also look at people that are not my competitors that are doing some of the same things that I'm doing in other parts of the country. So most recently, I hired a public relations director to work directly within the company and showcase what we do on a daily basis. The biggest thing is my company, 30% of our company focuses on community give back. So if you look at any of our social media pages, you won't find a lot of book your photo shoot, here's our, graphic special. You won't find a lot of that. What you'll find is, here's what we're doing in the community. We're partnered with this program to give back this. We're doing this because what I can guarantee you is the first thing we're going to wonder is, who is this and what do they do? And that's when you're able to promote to them directly exactly what your company is and give them that elevator pitch of what your company does. The greatest piece of it all is that, focusing on community give back, we have a mentorship program that works with 8 guys per year. And those are grades 5th through 8th grade. And inside of my studio, we have a classroom that is built just for our mentorship program. We also have a full-time director for the mentorship program that focuses directly. Can you guys hear me? Okay. That focuses directly on that mentorship program on a daily basis. We also have a director of community give back. Her job is to focus on how do we give back to the community. I take pride in giving back to the community that's pouring and sowing into my vision. Because in order for us to, move forward, we have to work with the people that's helping us. So on a daily basis, that's my engagement. My engagement is how we are helping other people. And from there, it's been successful. You meet a lot of people. You learn a lot of new things, and you come across some amazing ideas and great ways to move forward.
All righty. Anybody else want to tackle that? What's the hardest part of keeping your business exciting and new?
For me, I guess finding ways to stay relevant when you have so many people who are in the same industry as you have to find a way to be different and to do different things and offer different things and just to like kind of have your own spin on, the way that you want to brand yourself.
So what have you done to show that you are different, Uniqua?
To be honest, with that question, it made me think like, what are you doing to, and just hearing everybody talking about marketing and branding, I'm like, okay, maybe it's time you're at a point where you can delegate and, let somebody who specializes in that field, take over and do that, because why try to do it if it's not your specialty? If I specialize in real estate, why am I trying to market and brand? Like that just puts more work on me that I already have, and it just makes the job more difficult.
Very good point, Uniqua. Anybody else want to touch on that before we go to our last question?
The hardest part about keeping my business exciting and new was being social. I didn't have many friends in high school. I always had a group. So I wasn't really a social person unless I had to be. My business is in the United States, and I also have a client in the Bahamas as well as Germany. So I had to find ways to connect with them in different ways. A big thing that I struggled with, I went a year in my business without doing consultations over the phone just because I hated to hear myself speak. Just being honest, I hated talking. I didn't enjoy how I sounded to people. I recently, 6 months ago, I started working and doing branding consultations over the phone because people like to hear your voice, and people like to be able to relate to you. A lot of my clients are the same age as me or in that, 19 to 25-year-old bracket, but they have amazing brains. And a lot of my clients relate to me in the fact that, I am a senior in college, I am living alone, and they can relate to that. So being able to be more relatable. Also, I hated Instagram. I love Instagram now because it brings me so much money. And I didn't like being on Facebook as much unless it was for drama, honestly. So I had to learn how to be Alexis the entrepreneur. I had to watch my branding content. I had to watch some of the stuff that I posted. I had to watch who I allowed on my Facebook page. And I also had to, people took me more seriously once I branded my website. I noticed that people wouldn't shop for me if I had that .wix site at the end. I had to become the owner of my brand. So I had to buy my domain. I had to take necessary steps to be relevant because how my clients looked at it was, how can you brand my business if you're marketing someone else's? Because every time I sent them my stuff, it had Gmail at the end or it had Wixsite at the end. So I had to take those necessary steps to, become more marketable. So that was my big thing.
Very good. Anybody else want to touch on that? Awesome. There you go.
Okay, my biggest thing was because I was more so a behind the scenes person. I like to do all of my stuff more so on, kind of like on the low, and I don't care who take the credit for it. So what I did, I started sharing my journey. I started inviting people in. I started allowing people to get to know me, to get to know who's the owner of Kate Gunner Brandon Building. I started opening up some of my avenues. I also started teaching about credit, wealth, how you can establish generational wealth for your family. I even allow people to, kind of, what's the word I'm looking for? Shadow me on my buying my home process. So it was more so allowing people to get to know me and know who the real me is. So that definitely helped me on my business because a lot of people always miss me. You know what? You are so inspirational. You're so motivational, and I don't mind helping anybody. So that's what my approach was. I started, allowing people to know who I am. What would you get, when you're working with Katiana, how our services may help you. Just, opening up who I am. That's what helped my business, I would say.
That was very good. Did anybody else want to touch on that? So we're going to go to our last question. This will be a final thought that you guys will get to the participants on tonight. Now, a lot of you have already touched on it, but what those of you who haven't, and if you didn't touch as much as you'd like to, I'd like for you to go ahead and dive in a little more. We know that marketing, we know that branding is very important for every business. So I would like for you to think about how marketing and branding has impacted your business. It can be positive or negative. If you will please share that with our participants tonight.
Like I said, I can say, this week we've been really watching our social media, just trying to figure out what can we post to gather the attention of our younger people as well as our seasoned folk. And what we found is, I'm the kind of person, and the biggest thing, let me tell you, if I didn't have a business, I probably wouldn't be on social media. Because I'm more of, a private person. I have my very few friends that I can count on one finger. And, with all the stuff that's going in the world, I'm the kind of guy, when I go home, I don't turn the TV on. I open my window up and I just sit around and just look at look outside and watch the trees move back and forth. That's the kind of guy that I am. And, the biggest thing is that what we find is, if I post pictures of my clients, it gets a few likes. When I post pictures of myself on the social media, then we get 30, 40, 50, 60 likes. So what we found is that my business has become known from the 19-year-old entrepreneur that is giving back to the community, that provides great product with quality, value, and service. And from there, it's like, okay, well, let's go with it. So, now, we've been this week alone, my marketing person has made me record about 4 different videos this week all together. And, it's been a lot, but it's working for us. Having a visual for everything we're talking about, me speaking, me talking, that's the stuff that gets shared. So I would say, we have to look at what worked for us, and that's what we're rolling with right now. If you look slowly, you'll see that I'm pushing his face out more. I'm putting his face on the social media, because eventually you'll see a transition to whereas here's our marketing director, and here's the guy that is also with my client doing all these great things. So he'll be speaking for 3 minutes, and I'll come in for 30 seconds and then pass it back to him, because the transition has to move over, and the company has to show that my client is not doing everything. Because here's one piece of advice I can give to everybody. When you start them calling your cell phone, they will always call your cell phone. And what can happen from there is, now you got all those people that got your cell phone number, and you're frustrated because you're super duper duper busy and they still calling your cell phone. And you can't just pass them to your office phone, because you have to give that client the same respect you always gave them. So from there, be courteous, but also, use wisdom when it comes to how you manage your time out. And I know Ms. Tanya, she made some really good points when it comes to, time management. And, one thing, if I could do it all over again, I would have 2 phones, one work phone and one regular phone. And I would balance the calls out to where all the calls are not coming to me, because that's one thing I deal with right now.
And while we're waiting for the next person to talk about how marketing is playing a role in their business, if you guys can please type in your social media handles into the chat room. We've had someone to request that. We see the Real Boss Shop has already responded. All righty, so let's go over to Miss Gunder. So you are the guru, you are the specialist when it comes. Will you please just kind of talk about the importance of that some maybe what you've done with your business with marketing and branding.
Okay. Let's see. I don't do it pretty much. Oh, I done done so much just to get my business out there. So what I did was at first I would promote myself 24/7, but that would never work. It never worked. For some reason, it never worked. So what I did, I started allowing my clients to do the talk. I allowed my clients to post the work. Just like today, I'm going to give you guys an example. I did 3 logos, and from those 3 logos, if you go to my business page, I don't promote. I don't really promote at all. Even on my Instagram, I don't promote, and I don't even have a website just yet. I had a website, but it wasn't the way I want it to be. But now I'm reconstructing my website, and a lot of people are like, how did you do this? You don't have a site, you don't have this, but I have all of my, I have all my business paperwork and all that good stuff. But it was more so from I allowed my clients to do talking. Today, just alone with me sharing those logos with my clients doing it, I gained maybe like 5 new potential clients. I also they call me the branding package queen because I make most money on my packages. Um, what I noticed too, a lot of people like to come to a one-stop shop. So I just started venturing out with other companies. Like one of my business partners, she's on here right now. Her name is Danielle McBride, and she's over the marketing and advertising. And pretty much she also gets with influencers too. She's in the process of becoming an influencer as well. And so I started like what's the word I'm looking for? I started kind of like scouting out people. So Danielle was like, you know what? She's a perfect match. She worked in the music industry. That's what I needed. I needed someone that could help my clients get their stuff to the next level. So I scouted out, Danielle. Then I said, you know what? This just getting too much. It's going to be too much on her. I told my husband about it. He was like, okay, I'll join in. Then I said, you know what? It's not going to be enough because business steady booming, steady booming. So I hired an assistant. And when I tell you by doing all of that, allowing my clients to promote me, building great relationships, my mentor, even him promoting us, pretty much relationships, building all these relationships will help me with my business. And I'm very transparent. I try my best to be very transparent because a lot of people think that when it comes to business, it's going to be easy, but it's not. This has been the most hardest thing in my life, running a business and operating a business, because you have your days where it's up and down. You're feeling good one day, then you're feeling stressed out, and you're all over the place, and you got all these artists one day. You just figuring out how I'm going to do this. Just like when the pandemic came, the pandemic scared me so bad because I'm so big on keeping product on hand, but some of my product wasn't here. So I was like, how I'm going to do this because the shipping, and I had all these people pay this and they paid that. But by the grace of God, I was able to, I had people coming in, venturing out to me. I got this for you. One of my mom's friends, she bought shirts. She's like, I got these shirts for you. And guess what? Nobody wanted me to pay anything. And sometimes I get so emotional because don't nobody know where I started from. I started my business with $10. Everybody talked about my logos. They said, "Oh, you'll never be this. You'll never be that. Your business ain't gonna thrive." I had family even going against me, and that's been the hardest of it all. But I kept going, and I kept going, and I can finally say, I'm now reaping all the great benefits of my business. And all I gotta say to you guys, just stay focused, consistent, just keep going. No matter all people gonna come at you with all these crazy decisions. Also, to pay attention to what God wants you to get, because a lot of people be so they want to rush success, but you can't rush success because you're gonna miss everything that was supposed to be meant for you to receive. And that's what patience have gotten me where I need to be. Just building relationships, allowing my clients to doing the talking, and pretty much branding myself in relationship. Most definitely relationship. I wouldn't be where I am today without those things, and most definitely God. So yes, I just get so passionate when it comes to business, because if you just knew everything and all the obstacles, like everything that I went through within this business, and just now I'm able to really just, enjoy the fruit of my labor. I can finally sit back and just say, hey, I can relax. So that's about it.
Now, did anyone else before we wrap up with the closing thoughts and lessons learned for today? Did anybody have something that is just burning on you that you would like to make sure you leave with our attendees today?
Just coming from a branding perspective, because I do see a lot of entrepreneurs on this call, just making sure that your marketing is clean and making sure that it has longevity in it. One thing a lot of people flocked to me and my business for was because I can draw anybody's socks off. So the fact that I do cartoon logos, maybe that's something that's in now, but think about it 10 years down the line, 5 years down the line. Think about it later on in life. How would that look on your business? If you look at any of these big names, Apple, Walmart, Nike, they have the simplest logos, but they have the biggest impact. You don't want to ever overcrowd your branding with all this extra stuff. If you sell lashes and hair and shoes, you do not have to include all of that on your logo. Just your name itself should speak volumes. And I think that's what a lot of young entrepreneurs coming up, they don't have to have that razzle dazzle. They don't have to, everything don't have to shine. It just has to get the point across. And that's something that I want to leave with everybody today, that, text-based logos go a long way. So.
I would say, that, I say very few words, but they're powerful. I want to say that it's never too early to begin, and it's never too late to start. There's a lot of people that want to do a lot of great things. And, every time you think about giving up, I want you to think about why you started. And that should be the motivation for you to keep going. And, the biggest thing is that, as we continue as business owners, we have to motivate others. There were several people when I first started that I silently, watched, and I was able to grow from some of the things that I wanted to, do with my life. And the biggest thing that I learned is that, while watching them, I was growing at that time. I was growing to become a better person. And, most recently, late at night when I told you guys that I'm sitting in the room, light off, looking at the trees, that's normally during the time where I'm having meditation with God and He's speaking to me. And He's, guiding my day and leading me on my journey, and giving me the thoughts and the mindset I need to move on to the next day to do something else, bigger and greater. And most recently, it was strong in my spirit. He said, the fact that you aren't where you want to be should be enough motivation. Mm-hmm. Everybody on this call and everybody that's watching, we all have an area of growth. I was thinking last night, Oprah is a billionaire, but I promise you, Oprah is still looking for growth. Oprah is still looking for greater. She's looking to do something bigger and better. And as we, as young entrepreneurs, as seasoned entrepreneurs, we want to move forward and motivate the people coming behind us to be bigger and greater and do brighter things. And that's what this ministry is all about. Yes, we have businesses with different titles, but our goal is to motivate. And, MamaLisa, having this platform for us to be able to speak out is wonderful. Oftentimes we don't get the platform to speak out as business owners because, we have this strong mindset of competition. And to be honest with you, from the very beginning, the day that I started, I never competed with anybody. My biggest competition was myself. Mm-hmm. And that caused me to be, as great as I am today. I competed with myself to be better than I was yesterday. And that's the motivation I leave with everyone. Work hard, do hard, and if you can't be good at it.
Awesome.
Yes.
Mama
But I
Lisa,
was
I want to say, Mama Lisa, thank you for allowing me to be on the line with these multi-millionaires to come very soon. I am just enjoying it. I just like, oh, if I was 21, 25, whatever these girls and guys were talking about on that age, but I can see it. I can feel it. You guys keep going. What I'm getting ready to type in is stay coachable. Learn from others that can teach you. Stay coachable, stay committed, and stay consistent. And with those 3 C's, you will make it. The last thing is pay yourself, pay God and yourself first, and everything else will work out. So I am looking forward to making contact with each and every one of you in the very near future. As far as marketing and branding and that kind of stuff, doing it online has been a little more difficult. Some things I have in order, but I'm definitely going to find out what each of you can help me with. And I just think if we will do business with one another, then we can make this small business world work where it is lacking. And I can just see it. You guys are multi-millionaires in the making. And I am looking forward to what you all are going to do in the next, I'm going to say 3 to 5 years. Because you all are a bomb.
amen.
Amen.
Yes. I would like to put in my thoughts. What I would like to leave with everybody on the panel is stay focused. Each one of us have that pie in the sky dream. It's embedded in our head. We want to see it come to fruition so bad. But there are a lot of things that will deter us from getting to that pie in the sky vision that we have. And so I'm just asking you guys to stay focused. When things come your way that knock you off course, dust yourself back off and get right back on it. And that's the sure way of you getting to that top of that mountain.
Alrighty, everybody. I would like to thank all of our panelists tonight for sharing. I would like to thank everyone who tuned in via Zoom or Facebook Live on tonight. This was absolutely amazing, and I would like to share some points that stood out to me. 1, stay coachable, committed, and consistent. Make sure that you build relationships. Branding is key. Not only branding your business, but you have to remember that you yourself are your first brand. And Ms. Gunder did touch on that tonight. Don't give up. Learn and reboot. Don't rush success, but have patience. And it's never too early to begin or never too late to start. Those were some profound words of wisdom shared by all of our guests tonight. I want you guys to have a wonderful night. Be blessed. I'm MamaLisa. I know cool people, and I brought them to you. Good night, everybody.